Alright, let us start our today's class. Okay, up to section 2.1.6, that is reaction on of a non-metallic oxide with base we have seen in our previous class. Today we will start from section 2.2, that is what do all acids and all bases have in common. Before I start our today's class, let me request to all of you that please subscribe my channel Pratik Singh Classes and hit the bell icon so that whenever I will upload a new video, you will get its instant notification. The more subscriber I will get, the more better and better videos I will make for you. Alright, fine. So in section 2.2 we have seen that all acids have similar chemical properties. Okay, at the starting of this video for unit 2, we have seen that every acid has something in common. Okay, then the question is, what makes this similarity in all the acids? Okay, if every acid has something common, what is the reason of that similarity? We saw in activity 2.2 that all acids generate hydrogen gas on reacting with metals. Okay, there we have seen that when zinc granules reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid, okay, it gives out hydrogen. That means in every acid hydrogen is present. Okay, so hydrogen seems to be common to all acids. Okay, but it will not always happen that every compound which contains hydrogen will be acid. Okay, let me show you once again in easy way. Every acid contains hydrogen, but not every compound which contains hydrogen is an acid. Okay, let us perform an activity to investigate whether all compounds containing hydrogen are acidic. Okay, fine. Here in figure 2.3, what are the things given here? We have a beaker, then we have a rubber cork, then we have iron nails, okay, which will work here as electrode. Then in the beaker we have poured dilute hydrochloric acidic solution. Okay, then the electrodes are connected with wire, switch, bulb, okay, and 6-volt battery. Okay, so as the figure suggests here, we have 3 cells for a battery. Fine. Activity 2.2. Sorry, what is happening here? Let me make it clear. Okay, take solutions of glucose, alcohol, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, etc. Okay, in comment section please comment what is the formula of glucose. Okay, then alcohol, it may be methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, any kind of alcohol. Okay, those compounds which contains OH minus ion are called as alcohol. Okay, later in unit 3-4 you will study about that. Then hydrochloric acid is Cl, sulfuric acid is H2SO4, etc. Fix 2 nails on a cork and place the cork in a 100 ml beaker. As given here, in a beaker 2 nails are fixed in the rubber cork. Okay, rubber cork is taken here because once they are fixed, rubber cork is a bad conductor of electricity, and also these 2 nails are kept separated from each other. Fine. Connect the nails to the 2 terminals of a 6-volt battery through a bulb and a switch as shown in this figure. So as you can see here, the bulb is connected with wire, okay, then to the battery, bulb, switch, and again back to the another electrode. Now pour some dilute hydrochloric acid in beaker and switch on the current. Okay, before this thing, what we will do is, before pouring dilute HCl, okay, switch on the key. Okay, switch on it. Okay, you will see that the bulb is not glowing. It shows that rubber is a poor conductor of electricity, but keep in mind the electrode must not touch each other. Okay, but when dilute hydrochloric acid was poured in this beaker and switch was on, the bulb started glowing because circuit became complete and current started flowing in this circuit. That means that hydrochloric acid is a good conductor of electricity. Okay, repeat with dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, instead of doing this with hydrochloric acid, repeat this with H2SO4. Okay, you will find that again in case of sulfuric acid, the bulb has glowed when you switched on the switch. Okay, what do you observe? We have observed here that sulfuric acid is also a good conductor of electricity. Okay, now what will happen in case of glucose and alcohol solution? If you pour glucose here or alcohol here, whether the bulb will glow or not when you switch it on. Okay, what do we observe? We will see this here. Does the bulb glow in all the cases? In first two cases, when we have used dilute HCl and dilute H2SO4, the bulb has glown. About these two things, glucose and alcohol, what happen is given here. The bulb will start glowing in case of acids. Okay, but you will observe that glucose and alcohol solutions do not conduct electricity. Okay, see, it is given glucose and alcohol solution do not conduct electricity. Glucose contains high amount of hydrogen, as well as alcohol also contains hydrogen atoms, but even though hydrogen is available there, okay, they are not a good conductor of electricity. Glowing the bulb indicates that there is flow of electric current through the solution, means through the solution the charges have flown. Wherever we say flow of electric current, that means flow of charges. The electric current is carried through the solution by ions. Okay, when any acid is mixed with water to make aqueous solution, okay, there positive ion and negative ion separates from the acidic compound, and because of those ions available in the solution, they make the current to pass through them. Since cation present in acid is H plus, or sometimes this cation is also pronounced as cation. Many people say cation also, but it depends on you whether you want to say cation or cation. Okay, up to you. Different teacher will say differently. This suggests that acids produce hydrogen ions in aqueous solution, which are responsible for their acidic properties. Okay, that means if in any compound, if it is mixed with a solution, if it is mixed with water and H plus ion comes out of it, that means it is acidic in nature. Okay, repeat the same activity using alkalis such as sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, etc., and conclude what do you get in the activity. Okay, whether sodium hydroxide or calcium hydroxide will conduct electricity or not. Okay, most of the time if it is OH minus, okay, they not make the current to pass through it, but sometimes it happens when there also happens H plus ions. What happens to an acid or a base in water solution? Means when we mix acid or base in a water, means when we take acidic aqueous solution or basic aqueous solutions, what really happens there? Okay, do acids produce ions only in aqueous solution? Okay, let us see, let us check with this activity 2.9. Alright, first let us see figure 2.4, preparation of HCl gas. Okay, we have one conical flask, one test tube. In conical flask it contains the concentrated sulfuric acid, okay, and then in test tube it contains sodium chloride, NaCl. Okay, then here in this test tube it is tightly fixed with cork. Okay, and then some reaction is happening in this test tube and a gas is coming out, and that gas changes the moist litmus paper from blue to red. Something acidic fume is coming outside. Okay, activity 2.9. See, whenever we say acid, acid may be available in the form of solid or liquid or gas in any way. Okay, earlier you have seen aqueous solution means acids were present in the form of liquid. Okay, now in this figure you can see here that a gaseous product is coming out. So here hydrochloric acid is coming out in the form of gas. Okay, you can see here HCl gas. Take about 1 gram sodium chloride, or that is also called as common salt, in a clean and dry test tube and set up the apparatus as shown in figure 2.4. Okay, so in this test tube which is open from above, okay, we already have put 1 gram sodium chloride. Okay, and then what we have done is we have added some concentrated sulfuric acid to the test tube. Okay, not vigorously, little by little, drop by drop. Okay, what do you see here? Is there a gas coming out of the delivery tube? Okay, that means from this delivery tube, is there any kind of gas coming out of it? Test the gas evolved successively with a dry and wet litmus paper. Okay, so just bring a dry litmus paper in first and in wet litmus paper in second observation. Okay, in which case does the litmus paper change color? Means even though the litmus paper will change color, but whether the dry litmus paper has changed color or the wet litmus paper has changed color. On the basis of above activity, what do you infer about acidic character of hydrochloric acid, okay, and dry hydrochloric gas and hydrochloric acidic solution, aqueous solution. Okay. Note to teachers: if the climate is very humid, you will have to pass the gas produced through a guard tube containing calcium chloride to dry the gas. Okay. If suppose the climate is very humid, it will contain high amount of water vapor in it. Water content will be very high in air. In that situation, you have to provide a guard tube, okay, in near this outlet, so that it will absorb the extra humus from the HCl gas. Okay, this experiment suggests that hydrogen ion in HCl gas are produced in the presence of water. Once again, hydrogen ion in hydrochloric acid are produced in the presence of water. Okay, the separation of H plus ion from HCl molecules cannot occur in absence of water. Always remember this thing. The separation of H plus ion from HCl molecule cannot occur in absence of water. Okay, so here in the equation it is given here. How does it happen? HCl plus H2O makes H3O plus Cl minus. Okay, hydrogen ion cannot exist alone. Okay, it is very reactive. Okay, and that is why it cannot exist alone, but they exist after combining with water molecules. That is, H plus HO2 is equal to H3O plus. Okay, thus hydrogen ions must always be shown as H plus aqueous. Okay, aqueous means it has reacted with water molecule and has made H3O plus ion, or it is also called as hydronium ion, H3O plus. So keep in mind the name of H3O plus ion is hydronium ion. Okay, as given here, H plus H2O makes H3O plus. Okay, this positive charge in H3O plus will be on oxygen. We have seen that acids give H3O plus or H plus ion in water. Let us see what happens when a base is dissolved in water. Okay, so it is concluded that whenever acids are dissolved into water, it will give us H plus aqueous ions. Okay, now coming to bases. Okay, as given here, hydroxide compounds are mostly bases. Okay, so NaOH, sodium hydroxide, is a base. Okay, so it is taken here in solid form, and when water is mixed with it, okay, it will make Na plus aqueous plus OH aqueous. Potassium hydroxide in solid form makes K plus OH minus. Okay, here in this equation it will become OH minus, not only OH. So if it is printed in this way in your book, please correct it. It is Na plus aqueous plus OH minus aqueous, as given here. Okay, potassium hydroxide, when it is dissolved in water, it makes potassium, positive potassium ion in aqueous solution plus aqueous OH minus. Likewise, MgOH whole 2 in solid form, when it is mixed in water, it makes Mg2 plus in aqueous form plus 2OH minus. It is again minus mixed here. Okay, in aqueous form. Bases generate hydroxide ions in water. Bases which are soluble in water are called alkalis. Always remember three things which we have seen till now. Acids when dissolved in water will produce H plus ions. aqueous H plus ions. Bases when dissolved in water, okay, it will provide, or it will make aqueous OH minus ions, and also most of the bases, okay, which are soluble in water are called as alkalis. Okay, all bases do not dissolve in water, always keep in mind. Or an alkali is a base that dissolves in water. They are soapy to touch, bitter and corrosive. Never taste or touch them as they may cause harm. Okay, it may create a skin burn, okay, or sensation on your skin. Which of the bases in table 2.1 are alkalis? Where is table 2.1? We have to see later. We will see. Now we have, as we have identified that all acids generate aqueous H plus ions and all bases generate aqueous OH minus ion, we can view the neutralization reaction as follows. So what really happens here is, earlier I have shared you, in our previous video we have seen that acids and base when mixed together they react and they form bases and salts, okay, and this process is called as neutralization reaction. Okay, again in this video we have seen that in aqueous solution acids gives away aqueous H plus ion, and in aqueous solution bases gives away aqueous OH minus ion. So see here it is given acid plus base makes salt plus water. Okay, so from HX, that is acid, plus MOH, that is base. Okay, so you can see here the metal will take the leave out here hydrogen, so it will become MX plus HOH, water. Okay, H plus aqueous plus OH minus aqueous will make H2O in liquid form. Okay, so what really has happened here, let me change the color of the pen. Okay, so from acid hydrogen ion will come out, from base hydroxide ion will come out, and they together will make water, H2O or HOH. Okay, and these two things will make metal salt. Okay, now coming to the next topic, let me delete these things, just a minute. Okay, let us see what is involved when water is mixed with an acid or a base. Okay, see this type of symbol if given anywhere, okay, don't bring your hands there, don't bring your body parts there, because it is highly corrosive. It will burn off not only the skin but the bones also. As you can see here, when this liquid is poured over a metallic surface, the metal also itself has burnt away. Okay, warning sign displayed on containers containing concentrated acids and bases. Okay, these things are mostly visible in industrial sites, not in open market. But even though if you see this thing, don't play with it. Stay away, stay safe. Okay, now activity 2.10. Okay, see you might have seen in my videos that I always say 1.56, 1.12, 1.11. I don't say 2.10, 2.9, 1.12, 1.15. Okay, the correct way to pronunciate a decimal number is like this. It is 2.10, not 2.10. If it is 100, it is read as 2.100. It is not read as 2.100. Okay. Now coming to the activity, take 10 milliliter water in a beaker, add few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid to it and swirl the beaker slowly so that the mixtures would mix very easily and very fastly with each other. Now touch the base of the beaker. What do you observe? Whether the temperature is same or whether the temperature has changed. Okay, is there happened any change in temperature? Is this an exothermic or endothermic process? In our previous videos when I have taught you unit 1, okay, we have seen there endothermic and exothermic reactions. Endothermic reactions are those reactions in which heat is absorbed. Okay, that means the product will become cooler than the reactants, and exothermic reactions are those reactions in which heat is evolved. That means the product will become hotter than that of the reactants. Repeat the above activity with sodium hydroxide petals and record your observations. What do you see? Okay, fine. The process of dissolving an acid or a base in water is a highly exothermic one. Okay, that means whenever you will dissolve an acid or a base in water, it will give you huge amount of heat. Very high amount of heat is generated. So never touch those types of experiments with your open hand. Care must be taken while mixing concentrated nitric acid or sulfuric acid with water. Okay, if the concentration of the acid will be higher, the heat generated also will be higher. If you are using dilute acid, okay, even though the heat will be generated but not that much. Okay, in your chemistry laboratory up to class 10th, whatever experiments you will do, okay, the teacher will always give you the solutions which have just 0.5 to 3% of concentration, not more than that. Okay, the acids must always be added slowly to water with constant stirring. Okay, if water is added to a concentrated acid, the heat generated may cause the mixture to splash out and cause burns. Okay, it is just like when you shake the cold drink bottle and suddenly open its cap. Okay, there happens effervescence, means suddenly the liquid and gas comes out of the bottle with very high speed with a splash. Same thing will happen here, means if you add water in the acid, okay, then the mixture will come out with a splash. Okay, and if you touch it, it may cause burn. The glass container may also break due to excessive local heat. Okay, local heat means at the bottom only the heat will be available. Okay, not to the all the parts. Okay, at the bottom the generated heat will be very high. So it may happen that the glass beaker will break. Okay, there will happen one quenching of glass, means the inner glass metal will become hotter and the outer glass will be cooler or at room temperature, and because of that quenching will happen, and because of quenching the glass beaker will break. Look out for the warning sign as given in this figure 2.5 on the can of concentrated sulfuric acid and on the bottle of sodium hydroxide petals. Okay, that is why these types of concentrated acids or bases are always kept locked in chemistry lab away from students. Okay, because at this age you don't know what may cause you harm. Okay, mixing an acid or base with water results in decrease in the concentration of ions. That means H3O plus in case of acid and OH minus in case of bases will decrease when you increase the amount of water in the acid or base respectively. Okay, such a process is called dilution and the acid or base is said to be diluted. Okay, that means mixing of water in acid or mixing of water in base is called as dilution. Alright, so this is all about section 2.2. In our next video, we will study about section 2.3, that is how strong are acids or base solutions. Okay, and today we have learned a lot of new things about acids and bases. Okay, I request you all to ask any question, any doubt if you have in the comment section of this video. The best innovative person who will ask the question will get some rewards, that may be gift hamper or gift voucher. While you are typing the question, please type your name with your place of living and the name of your school. Okay, and questionnaire will happen on every Sunday, okay, in evening. So just keep on asking whatever doubts you have. Okay, till my next video, please subscribe, like and share my channels, Pratik Singh Classes. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.